Celebrities live the life most of us can only dream of, from going on luxury vacations to having the sickest rides. But a few big stars do all that with some shockingly slim bank accounts. So what's the real net worth behind all that glitzy glam? Here are the stars who are slumming it Hollywood style. Lindsay Lohan. Even though her glory days as a Disney star and box office sensation in Mean Girls are far behind her, Lindsay Lohan can still be seen vacationing on the Mediterranean when she's not living in London, one of the world's most expensive cities. But we have no idea how she's affording it all, with a net worth of only $500,000. According to Celebrity Net Worth, Lohan almost went bankrupt, but posing for Playboy and sitting down for a series of interviews with Oprah allegedly pulled her from the brink. Still, with only $500,000 to her name and an acting career that's hanging on by a thread, we're not sure how long the Herbie fully loaded actress can continue to live the life of luxury before slamming on the brakes.
Just because you're gorgeous doesn't mean you get everything you want. Your days are numbered.
Chris Tucker. Following the box office success of Rush Hour 2 and 3, Chris Tucker was the highest paid actor in Hollywood. But the former Def Comedy Jam and Friday star seemingly fell off the map, which some attributed to his conversion to Christianity. But Tucker didn't just quit acting, he also quit paying his taxes, allegedly racking up a $14 million bill with the IRS between 2001 and 2010.
Money, Chris! Money! I should have known it was a problem.
Tucker eventually settled his tax debt, according to CNN, after he returned to stand-up comedy in 2010 and landed a role as Bradley Cooper's best friend in the Academy Award-winning Silver Linings Playbook. Ice Cube has all but confirmed that Tucker will star in Last Friday, the fourth installment of the hit comedy franchise, and there's even talk of a Rush Hour 4. This is all good news for Tucker, whose net worth sits at only $3 million, a far cry from his days at the top of the food chain. Bella Thorne. Thanks to her racy Instagram pics and revealing outfits, former Disney Channel actress Bella Thorne has become a tabloid darling. Factor in her on-again, off-again relationship with Keeping Up with the Kardashian star Scott Disick, and Thorne has garnered quite the public profile.
If you don't like it, I don't care.
But with a net worth of only $5 million, Thorne might find herself in a tough spot if she forms a reputation for partying with bad boy reality stars instead of fine-tuning her acting skills. Teresa Giudice. When Teresa Giudice appeared on The Real Housewives of New Jersey, she had it all.
Cheers to that!
But in 2009, things started to look fishy when Giudice and her husband, Joe, filed for bankruptcy. Considering she was making $650,000 a season, one might assume Real Housewives was digging the Giudices out of the hole. If only it were that easy. In 2013, Teresa and Joe were indicted on 39 counts of fraud and tax charges. Us Weekly reported that the couple had spent roughly 10 years falsifying their income to secure exorbitant loans, and then understating their earnings during bankruptcy proceedings. While the couple initially claimed innocence, the Giudices eventually pleaded guilty and were both sentenced. After serving her time, Teresa returned to Real Housewives and even shot a spin-off special, Teresa Checks In. But don't think that's the end of her money problems. Her net worth is $11 million in the red, and it's gonna take a lot of cookbooks to bounce back from that one. Aaron Carter. By the age of 14, Carter was a teen pop sensation with a triple platinum album. But then the boy band bubble burst and Carter found himself pivoting to reality TV. He also found out that his parents had allegedly mismanaged a significant chunk of his money.
And I made over $200 million in my career before I even turned 18 years old.
According to Carter, there legally should have been at least $20 million in his bank account when he became an adult. Instead, he only had $2 million and a tax bill for $4 million, which left him no choice but to file for bankruptcy in 2013. Despite attempts to revive his music career, Carter's net worth is still $2 million in the hole, which he blames on his parents. Burt Reynolds. Hollywood legend Burt Reynolds has more than 50 years of acting under his belt, but despite his iconic status, he's only worth $5 million. And the Smokey and the Bandit actor will be the first to admit he's not the best when it comes to finances. When facing foreclosure on his Florida home, Reynolds told Vanity Fair, "I've lost more money than is possible because I just haven't watched it. I've still done well in terms of owning property and things like that, but I haven't been somebody who's been smart about his money." He continued with a smile, "There are a couple of actors who are quite brilliant with the way they've handled their money, but they're not very good actors." Mike Tyson. In the 80s, Mike Tyson was the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world, punching his way to a $400 million fortune that he famously squandered on jewelry, mansions, cars, limousines, cell phones, parties, clothing, motorcycles, and Siberian tigers. Tyson's downfall only went further when he was convicted of rape in 1992 and spent 3 years in prison. However, the boxer was allowed to make a comeback, which came to a screeching halt after he bit off a chunk of Evander Holyfield's ear in 1997. Tyson filed for bankruptcy a few years later and officially retired from boxing in 2005. Despite his violent past, Tyson has been able to start a new career in acting, thanks to a cameo in The Hangover that rehabilitated his public persona. He's also starring in his own cartoon show, but with a net worth of only $3 million, Tyson's hard spending days are definitely over. Pamela Anderson. In the 90s, Pamela Anderson launched herself from Playboy Playmate to successful actress, thanks to a small role on Home Improvement. After 2 seasons, Anderson landed her now iconic gig on Baywatch, which paved the way for starring in her own TV series, VIP. Throw in a couple magazine covers and an infamous marriage to Motley Crue rocker Tommy Lee, and it's no wonder Anderson was named the most powerful Canadian in Hollywood in 2005. However, things went south around 2009 when Anderson's career dried up and she found herself more than $1 million in the hole after blowing tons of cash renovating her home. She'd also run into problems with unpaid taxes in 2012. Anderson's currently worth $8 million, yet we can't help but wonder how she ranked that in, rarely working in the industry. Then again, she was married to Rick Solomon, who once won $40 million in a poker game. Charlie Sheen. At the height of 2.5 Men's popularity, Charlie Sheen was the highest paid actor on TV. But even while raking in roughly $40 million a year, after he left the show, the future was already starting to look grim. Despite landing a lead role on Anger Management, Sheen wouldn't see a dime from the show's syndication deal because it failed to turn a profit, according to TMZ. He also allegedly paid out large chunks of cash to cover up his HIV diagnosis, which he later publicly admitted to, so he could stop making payments. Celebrity Net Worth still estimates Sheen at $20 million, but that could have been a lot more considering how much he raked in on 2.5 Men. The site also noted that Sheen is hemorrhaging money to child support, various mortgages, and medical expenses, as well as his hard partying lifestyle, proving yet again that more money really does equal more problems. Thanks for watching. Click the Nicki Swift icon to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Plus, check out all this cool stuff we know you'll love too.